Hi, everyone. Great to be back with you. And I hope you've had a fantastic week since we were all together last week. We obviously covered a lot. So I hope you've caught up on life, but also had the opportunity to do some reflecting on some of the concepts that we covered. So I just thought I'd share a quick video with you to get you feeling ready for our first leadership circles next week. So obviously in this email there is some pre-work for you to think about. Really what I want you to know is that our leadership circles, when we get together, they are not about me necessarily teaching you more. They're actually about peer-based learning. It's an opportunity for discussion. It's a chance for you to delve deeper into not only what we've covered, but also your awareness around yourself, and also learning a lot about one another and from one another. So one of the things that I want you to get ready, in addition to what's in the email, is I want you to dig out the handout of what can get in the way. This was one that I handed to you last week, and we might even attach it to the email just for your convenience so you've got it there. Because one of the things I want to talk about is thus far in the program, you know your top 5 strengths, and you're obviously leaning into those. You know your 3 or maybe a few more values. You've come up with your authentic leadership purpose statement. You've visualized who you want to be as a leader in 10 years' time. So you're good to go, right? Everything's working. But sometimes that isn't always the case. We tend to have these ways that we hold ourselves back. We really let our thoughts derail us sometimes. So I want you to take the opportunity between now and when we catch up for our first learning circle is to really think about what is getting in your way or what has got in your way previously. It could be some skills gaps, but often what it is it's actually our beliefs, our unhelpful thinking. These beliefs they might have formed when we were a child and they might have served us for a long time, but they can actually start to act like a bit of a handbrake. So you can be doing everything right to be moving forward, but it's these fears or thoughts or beliefs that can slow us down a little bit. I think of these negative beliefs, these ones that hold us back, as like our inner critic or our itty bitty shitty committee. These are those voices that get loud in our head. They tell us things that really don't serve us, don't encourage us to be the best version of ourselves. They're there to help us and support us. So we need them, but we just need some ways to manage them. So another way of thinking about this inner critic is we hear a lot about imposter syndrome, and people say that they suffer from imposter syndrome. I want to change that a little bit for you. So really, when you think about it, what's a syndrome? A syndrome is something chronic that someone suffers from. It might be a disease or something like that. Imposter syndrome is not actually a syndrome. It's not something that you're inflicted with or infected with. Imposter syndrome, I want you to ditch that idea and swap it for just imposter thoughts. Just thoughts. So when that inner critic or that itty bitty shitty committee pipes up and makes you feel like you have a sense of imposter syndrome, I want you just to acknowledge, oh, there's one of those thoughts. Thank you. And what we're going to be working on in our learning circle is some strategies for overcoming that. So as I said, dig out that handout of what can get in the way. And I'm going to ask you to ideally hit pause now and grab that right now if you can, because I want us to do this live. So if you can't grab it now, feel free to re-watch this video. So I want you with that first question to really think about what has got in the way of your success previously. What are those beliefs or stories that you tell yourself that have really slowed you down or held you back from being the best leader that you can be and that leader that you want to be, that you visualized in 10 years' time? What might you have missed out on as a result of these beliefs that hold you back? The sorts of things that I hear from clients all the time is generally, I'm not something, insert word, enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not qualified enough. I'm not good enough. I don't know the right people, right? What are those things? Or I'm terrible at maths. It could be anything. And you might even know that there's not truth in it. So I want you to take a moment now to write down what are those stories or beliefs, the negative ones, that have got in your way or are slowing you down now. And once you've really downloaded all of those, I want you to grab a piece of paper, just a blank piece of paper, can even be the back of an envelope, I don't mind. And I want you to write down the number one story or belief that's held you back. What's that number one? What's that one that even when you say it or when you write it, it kind of brings up a bit of feeling for you? And when you've written that down, I want you to scrunch up that piece of paper and I want you to put it in the bin because it no longer serves you and it no longer belongs in you. So let's ditch it. Let's get rid of it. It no longer deserves space in you while you're striving to be the best leader you can be. So as I say, hit pause and do that first question on that activity, and also write down that number one belief that no longer serves you and put it in the bin. So hit pause now. Okay, so hopefully you've just done that. Then we want to go on to the next question, which is about what are the new and empowering beliefs that will serve you going forward? What are you going to replace that limiting belief with something that's more powerful, more inspiring, more fitting for the person and the leader that you want to be? So again, hit pause so that you can answer that question for yourself. This is all great pre-work for our learning circles next week because we will be discussing this. So hit pause and do that. Okay, so lucky last is strategies. What can we do about this? This inner critic, these imposter thoughts, they're going to pop up. It doesn't matter how successful you are, how senior you are. For every single person, we all have these imposter thoughts. And guess what? We're never actually going to get rid of them. What we want to be able to do is have some strategies in place for how we can manage them. So when we hear that thought come in, we can say, oh, thank you. And what are you going to do to either replace it, or do you have a mantra, something that you say that replaces that idea that no longer serves you? Do you take a deep breath? Do you have key questions that you ask yourself when you hear those beliefs pop into your head? So strategies. I want you to come up with, let's say, 3 strategies or ideas or systems that you do to help you manage those imposter thoughts when they pop into your mind. You're going to be sharing those with the people in your learning circle, and then we'll come up with some new ones from one another. So there you go. That is a piece of your pre-work in preparation for our learning circles on Wednesday. As always, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. All right, see you on Wednesday.